Hi, friends and fellow Earth angels. In this video, I want to talk to you about my energy therapy sessions. I have been doing energy work since I first opened my practice in 2007. I had been training in Usui Reiki, Magnified Healing, and integrated energy therapy since 2005 and completed those trainings between 2010 and 2012. So, energy therapy was the first services that I had on my menu of services. So, I've been doing it for a really long time. I love body work. I love working with people and giving them an opportunity to really feel into their body, to relax, to feel peace and that just bliss feeling of release. I have been using a massage table for the last 20 years. I am so lucky and so glad to say that the massage table that I've been using, I bought in 2006 and I still use it to this day. So, as I'm recording in December of 25, it will be 20 years old in December of 2026. And I feel like my massage table is a Grammy of massage tables. And I have worked with thousands of people on that table, or I've had thousands of energy sessions on that table for the last 18 years. It has just been so wonderful to work with the energy. And so, if you're feeling like energy therapy could benefit you, just please know that when you come in, you're going to lay on a table that has been blessed 10,000 times over. And on the table, I've got two double down comforters underneath the sheets. I've got soft sheets, soft pillowcases. I was very mindful when purchasing so that my session was a pleasurable experience from beginning to end. And so you come into the office and we talk a little bit about what your needs are. We talk a little bit about the service, areas of focus, and then we kind of get into the session. So, the first session I want to talk about is my IET sessions or integrated energy therapy sessions. These are an interactive 90-minute session. Integrated energy therapy or IET that I'll call from now on is a healing modality that is intended to get the issues out of the tissues. It works with Angel Ariel, who is who is the angel of courage, bravery, and strength. And it works with 8 of her healing angels. So at each point, so part of the practice is a pressure point like technique that works with certain areas of the body intended to release the suppressed emotions in that area. So during a session, each area I go to, I let you know what angel I'm working with and what that angel is blessing you with. For example, clients typically feel the most stressed areas in, let's say, the shoulders. The shoulders are where we carry, according to the IET system, the emotions of shoulds. I should be doing this. I should be doing that. I have to do this. I have to do that. I need to do this, but I want to do that, right? Do we know those emotions and those thoughts and those stressors? And that's where we carry the burdens on the shoulders. So in the IET system, we learn that Angel Faith, who's connected to that area, releases the emotional energies connected to the shoulds on the masculine and feminine side while imprinting the energy of freedom. And now, how I personally work with the system is that when I'm in those areas, for example, staying with the shoulders, if I'm working on your shoulders, intuitively, your body will tell me the people, the places, the things, the ideas, and or the memories that are being stored in those areas. So I might be in that area and I may feel a situation or experience that you've had in the past. And so I call IET sessions interactive because they're not a session where you come in, lay down, and check out. My personal IET sessions are not that. We are really going in deep. And I have found that when we can make the connections and follow the thread, the patterns, and the energetic cords and attachments and debris get released. So IET sessions are incredibly powerful, but remember, we are going deep. Now, I have never, I have never had anyone on the table where we were re-traumatizing anyone. Everything that comes up, the client is ready for, the client is either already aware of, and the reason why it's coming up is because your physical body is ready to release it. So the system is based on the idea that suppressed emotions get stored in the body. And this is a great session if you have been doing therapy in the mental health arena, if you've been working with your emotions. And sometimes people feel like they're coming in because they feel blocked or they feel stuck or they can't let someone or something go. And so we go into that area because sometimes that area of focus is piled onto something else that they're not making the connection to. Now, I never know what the session's going to be like until I get in there. And so it really is beneficial if a person who's booking the session comes in like open-minded with an intention or an area of focus. And then we can go deeper in. And now part of the practice is because I am a master teacher trained IET practitioner as well. I could use the symbols that are incorporated. There is a soul star clearing technique that I include into the session on top of all the pressure points throughout the body. And it also includes a pull-out technique. So as I am talking and working with you about the area or the memory or the experience, I am pulling through your auric field on the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual level. So it really is, it's like a pull-out technique that goes all the way up. So the intention is that we're clearing out the debris and we're polishing up your auric field because let's face it, as empathetic people, highly sensitive people, we tend to absorb consciously and unconsciously um, other people's stuff. And so sometimes with empathetic people, it's hard to know what is yours and what is others, especially if we're in what's very common and meshed dynamics in relationships and family dynamics and work dynamics, uh, especially because a lot of earth angels work in service oriented fields. So this session is really meant to go deep and to clear out, but is deeply therapeutic. And like I said, I have never been guided to a memory and experience that the person or the client doesn't already remember and has processed to some degree. Because when people are coming in, they're already at the point where their body is ready to let it go, right? Because we've worked through it, we've understood it, and now we can go in and clear out. So it is a very, it's an organic, compassionate, gentle experience that can also feel very loving and kind, but very deep in a sense. What else can I say? So When people come in for IET sessions, well, I'm recording this in December of 2025, and we are ending a 9-year cycle. Mother Earth started her 9-year cycle in 2017, and 2025 is a 9 universal year. And so this would be an incredibly powerful time over the next month or so, or going into February of 2026, because people are clearing out a 9-year cycle, like energetically, especially connected with earthly global things. So basically, the 9 year is about what am I sick of, tired, over, and done with. And so IET session is almost like a final release that now gets into the cellular memory of the body to really leave it in the past. I say up until February because that's when the Chinese New Year starts. And now we're really kind of deep into the 1 year into the Chinese New Year. But if you're watching this after that time, IET sessions are great if you've gone through a major transition in your life. People come in after divorces, people come in after they've left jobs, or they're transitioning out of relationships, if they've grown out of certain type of dynamics with family or friends, any major changes, because now you're starting to take actions based on what you do know in healthier ways. And it's beautiful to then get the physical body and the emotions that are suppressed in the cellular memory up and out and cleared so that you can go forward. Basically, IET, I'm just getting this image. Basically, IET is like cleaning out the closets. And so this is a great time when somebody's like, I have too much clutter. I need to just pull everything out of the closets, digest what's there. And then, as Maria Kondo says, decide what you want to put back. What brings you joy, right? And so an IET session is basically cleaning out the closet. And we all know if you've ever cleaned out closets or basements or garages, it feels, or pantries or, kitchen, clothes, things like that. It always feels so much better when things are orderly and neat and like you can see everything. So basically, IET is clearing out the junk. What else can I say? I just do want to reiterate that it's a pressure point like technique, and it is an interactive session. Some sessions are more interactive than others, but I will tell you, every time I change to the integration point, what angel I'm working with, and what they're integrating and blessing you with. So, for example, angel faith with the angel, with the energy of freedom, you could at that point ask God or the divine to download you with his definition of freedom. You could think about things that bring you freedom. So, interactive in the sense that if I'm quiet, you could also be doing your own work as well. I love IET sessions. It is really beautiful to work with the angels. And even though we go deep, people feel so peaceful after or so relieved. And it really is profound. It never ceases to amaze me, like what comes up for people, things that they have forgotten about or things that they knew. And they just feel so much better about it being released. The next session I want to talk about is Reiki. And I was trained in the Usui Reiki method of natural healing. So I work with my friends, Dr. Usui, Dr. Hayashi, and Mrs. Takata. Those are what I call the Reiki Grandmasters. And they were the ones that, well, Dr. Usui rediscovered the energy therapy of Reiki, and Dr. Hayashi and Dr. Hayashi actually developed this system, and he had clinics that people could go to, and then he trained Mrs. Takata, which I love Mrs. Takata. I call on her often to work on me personally. And she was the one that brought Reiki to the West. She had a practice in Hawaii, and I think she started then to transition into California, and then it just moved across the country. So I believe she died in the early 1980s. So there has been so much development in Reiki, even since I've been in private practice. And so I really prefer to work with the traditional teachings and the traditional energies. So when a client comes in for a Reiki session, this session is not interactive. It is minimal interaction, hardly any. I don't talk about a lot on the table because typically people who come in for Reiki sessions are really looking to relax. Reiki clients are people who are busy. They have busy lives, they have busy jobs, there's lots of responsibilities in their life, or they're going through a lot and they don't want to be talked to. They just want to relax and rest. So, Reiki sessions are great for people who just want to time out and they don't want to do anything for themselves. Meaning, like, if you go get pampered or get your nails done, like there's interaction where Reiki is just a beautiful 75-minute session where people come and check out. It's like they hide away and they receive. When I work with people in Reiki, their cells to me are like the chi in their cells are like raisins. And by the end of the session, the intention is always that the Reiki energy fills their cells. So to me, their cells look like fat, juicy grapes. That's how I know when they're full. So it does work with the meridians in the body, chi, and Reiki puts the body at a rested state so that the body can heal itself. And we believe when you're relaxed, when your mind is out of the way, then the body can regenerate. This is why there's so many spiritual philosophies that talk about nothingness, rest, quiet, silence, because when we are in that downtime, our body can then either start to tell us what it needs or it can start to recoup and regenerate. It's all connected: mind, body, spirit, emotions. And so people are coming in when they want a break. You'll know you'll need a Reiki. You'll know when it's time for a Reiki session when you start to feel snappy, resentful, bitter, prickly, ornery, or what my husband calls in a bad way. You're in a bad way today. So those are good times to book a Reiki session, and you don't really have to say anything. If you have areas of aches, if there's pains in your body, Reiki is phenomenal to work with those areas. I feel often with Reiki, it reduces inflammation for that time, right? Because it's putting your body in a rested state. So I can feel as I scan throughout the body where the areas of inflammation are. So we focus on those areas first. It incorporates a chakra balancing technique that I use as well. And it does work on an energetic clearing of the auric fields. None of that is anything that you're like privy to on the table because you're checked out, which is wonderful. There's quiet music playing. My office, gratefully, I'm lucky that it is predominantly quiet where I'm at. So you're really kind of coming into a sanctuary like space. And because I have Spotify, I can certainly cater the music to what you like. If you like piano, if you like new age, if you like singing bowls, if whatever you like, I can play that as well. So this is really a service for you to come in. And then again, if you don't want to think, you can just come in, say nothing, and I will go in and I will do my job. So Reiki is wonderful. And then the last session I want to talk to you about is Magnified Healing. Magnified Healing is a spiritual healing practice. I do magnified healing every day. Well, that's not the full truth. I do it maybe five out of 7 days a week. Sometimes on the weekends or sometimes when I'm not in the office. I don't get up and do it regularly. Anyway, that's not really, I just don't want to say I do it every day because I don't. But it has been a practice that I have been using since 2006. And I feel like it is the modality that has kept me grounded. It has kept me connected to the most beautiful, divine energy all these years. I believe it's the modality that has kept me safe and protected. It to me, it feels so close to the Divine Mother and the Divine Father. It works with Metatron, Melchizedek, Michael, Jesus, and and the most important, Kuan Yin. Kuan Yin gifted this healing modality to Giselle King and her co-partner. Oh God, I can't think of her name right now. But I actually trained with them. I flew to Palm Beach in Florida, and I trained with Giselle. I flew to Pennsylvania to work with Giselle. Giselle is no longer with us, which is so sad, but I'm just so lucky that I got such wonderful time to train with her. I have like a pack of um, notes like this big of everything that she taught us. So, that being said, a magnified healing session is broken down into 3 parts, one session with 3 parts. So, the first part is like an attunement. It is you're standing up at my altar. And these are my guides too that I work with. This wall collage that I have are the guides that I work with and are mostly connected to the magnified healing teachings. There's Metatron, there's Melchizedek, there's Michael, there's Saint Germain, there's Jesus, and there's Kuan Yin. So when I'm doing a magnified healing session, the first part is you're standing up at the altar and I'm going through your body. I am clearing out the chakras of your body. There is a healing of karma that also comes up. There's an activation of your spiritual strands of DNA. And this is why I say this is a very spiritual type session where Reiki, for example, is very grounded in the physical and the body, and IET is very much connected to the emotional body. So that's kind of my wheelhouse. So magnified healing activates those spiritual strands of DNA. Now, the idea is that we came to Earth and we know that we have that two-strand DNA that has solved many crimes and mysteries and connects people with each other, families reunited. And so that is an element of DNA. And then there are 10 spiritual strands of DNA. And as we activate these energies and these frequencies, this is how we can have more connection to the other side. Right now, obviously, the divine is always guiding that. So, coming in and having a magnified healing session doesn't mean then you're going to be able to channel people's loved ones. But you could certainly have heightened sensitivities to understand things, to gain wisdom and insight and things that you didn't necessarily before. So, these sessions are great if you are on a spiritual journey and you're wanting a spiritual boost in those frequencies. So after that portion, which is like the attunement, you then get on the massage table. And the massage table, the second on the massage table, the second portion is where I do the scans of your systems. So you're now on the table. We kind of do a settling in guided meditation. And then you're there, and this is where I say this one's semi-minimal interaction, because once you're on the table, I'm no longer talking. So you get on the table, and now I'm scanning through the system. In the Magnified Healing system, it is believed that everybody first and foremost needs a healing in the mental emotional body, the central nervous system, the endocrine system, the skeletal system, and the respiratory system. And so we're doing work well, we and Kuan Yin and her guides, we are scanning through the systems, creating a cleanse and a clear in those systems. I can then, because we will have a conversation before we start the session, I can then go into the reproductive system. I can go into the lymphatic system. I can go into the immune system. I can go into is there oh gosh, bone, there is pinpoint, like a fine point laser technique that can go into cysts, tumors, blockages. Sometimes people, I use that because sometimes people have maybe blocks in their throat or they've swallowed back. I might do some work on the thyroid. I might do some work on the chest, the lungs, the breast area. I might do some work on the kidneys, but I'm always guided towards it. And so this is why we have this little conversation before we start, so I can see what challenges your physical body has. And then we go back in and we scan in the mental emotional body again. And we go into like the auric, the astral, the ethereal. We go through the other layers of the aura. And then finally, the third part of this one session is where I then put my hands on those areas that I worked on. So the last part of the Magnified Healing session can feel like a Reiki session, and I'm integrating the energy with the work with like a beautiful golden light. And in that space, I am saying sacred names, Hebrew mantras. I am praying. I'm working with Metatron, Melchizedek, and Michael in that space. And so, the understanding with Magnified Healing is that you would have to have an openness to these frequencies and these energies. I say that it's high vibrational, but I don't mean better than Reiki or IET, because each one is powerful in their own right. But Magnified Healing can certainly go deep, especially those who are growing on your spiritual journey. And sometimes when people are on the table with Magnified Healing, they might have visions, they might connect with guides, they may pray on the table, and over time will gain some insight or some wisdom. And so it really is a beautiful modality if you've been on this spiritual journey. So let me see. Let me check my notes here. I believe that's the sessions in a nutshell. Like I said, I just want to reiterate the IET session is best for emotional healing and to release it in the body. For example, if you've left a relationship, when we're intimate with people or we're vulnerable with people, like with friendships and family members, they have access to us in so many ways. So IET can really clear out those energies so that you can start fresh and new and start moving forward again. Reiki, God, is just so lovely when you need a break. Do it for yourself. I try to price my sessions so that they're affordable for people to be able to come in. Sometimes people come regularly, but I'm a firm believer in come when you're called. You'll know when it's time to come in for a session. The hardest part is getting yourself here, getting yourself in the office, making the time and booking the session. I think that sometimes that's the hardest part because as earth angels or caregivers or healers, a lot of us have a tendency to be servicing and putting the needs of others first. And we just can't continue to exist doing that over and over again because then we're no good. That's why I say with Reiki, when you're feeling prickly and ornery and snappy and bitter, that's your body telling you, I am burnt, I am maxed out. We really have to stop shaming people for these emotions and these feelings that they're having because it's your body telling you something's off. This is not in alignment. I need a break. I need a release. I need help. Right. And so that is the beauty of these types of energy therapy sessions. Now, I cannot speak for other practitioners out there. I cannot speak for other body workers. I have really kind of contained myself over the last 20 years to really sit and work with my guides, with my gifts, and what I'm best at. So, every practitioner you're going to go to is unique and different. And so, I wanted to do this video so that you could have more clarity and more understanding of like me and where I come from. I I like to work. I love to be in the office. I have built a family practice that I am very, very, very proud of. I work with people all over the country, internationally, not as much internationally. I don't advertise a lot, but it's really referral and word of mouth. And I work with people who then send me their children, who send me their parents, who send me their cousins, who send me their friends. And dads and brothers and uncles and so on and so forth. So I truly have created a family practice, and that's where I come from. I am a quadruple Cancer in the astrology. So my sun, my moon, and my rising and my Mercury is Cancerian. So I work with the energies of the shadow, the moon, the mother energy. I work with the emotions, and I am deeply family connected. So people, when they come in for a session, I hope my intention is that they feel like family, that they feel like we're friends, and that you feel safe to be vulnerable and open up and really want to heal and feel better. Now, I can say that we work together. And I can also say that, yes, we can do all this work while you're here. But also, too, you'll still need to go back into your life. And sometimes there are recommendations about changes in your life. This is not a quick fix. This isn't something that you're like, fix me, save me, change me, make me better. You will certainly feel better after you leave here. But the divine is really good about giving recommendations that can further support you now, then going forward. Now, it's not a have to or a should. It's not like, oh, you're going to be punished if you don't do these things. That's not what it is. But they can certainly make recommendations to support you going further because, the divine knows that some situations we just can't get out of, right? Sometimes we're taking care of ailing parents. Sometimes we're in a job that's going through a transition. Sometimes children are going through stuff and it's not things we can just like up and leave. So these energy therapy sessions are meant to take care of you. They're meant to support you in your humanity, in life, and then empower you to make adjustments going forward. Right. But it's never going to be like a you should, or it's never going to be shaming, or it's never going to be blaming, or anything like that. Sometimes during the sessions, too, I'll pull a card after the session and I'll send you off with a nice message. For the IET sessions, you get to leave with, I wonder if I can pull it out. You get to leave with an angel. I can pull it out. Uh, so I have this, what we call an IET. This is my a bag of blessing. Uh, Um, I don't know if it's backwards. Healings are in here with a bunch of messages. So actually with a card with an angel that wants to bless you then going forward. With Reiki, I may pull a yeah, healing energy card, and hand is the earth. And so it really developed through my trainings and my certifications, but I've also added my special touch to each session. So I hope you enjoyed learning more about what I do here at Heavenly Hugs. And of course, if you ever have any questions, you can send me an email. You can book a session online. These Reiki, IET, and Magnified Healing are in office sessions only. I do not do them remotely. I do feel the value and the power behind working one-on-one close with people. And so I have an office located in East Providence, Rhode Island. I think I've been here for 8 years now, 8 or 9 years. I've been in East Providence, and before that, I was in Warwick. So it is a peaceful, quiet place that you can come in. Plenty of parking, plenty of off-street parking. I have a parking lot. It's on the bus route. I have people who take the bus who come here, people from all over, from Southern Massachusetts, from Rhode Island. People drive in to come see me. So, all right. Well, it was a pleasure sharing my wisdom with you and sharing I call them my babies, my services with you because I love them so much. And I look forward to seeing you in the future. Thank you for watching. Take good care. Bye for now.